The apartment was perfect, too perfect. Sarah stood in the doorway of 4B, watching the landlord's retreating figure disappear down the stairwell. The keys felt cold in her palm. She'd gotten the place for half the market rate. The landlord had been almost desperate to rent it, asking barely any questions, waiving the security deposit. "You're the first person to even look at it in months," he'd said, not meeting her eyes. She should have asked why. The apartment was spotless. Hardwood floors gleamed. The windows overlooked a quiet street lined with oak trees. One bedroom, modern kitchen, clawfoot tub. Sarah set down her boxes and smiled. After 6 months of couch surfing, she finally had a home. That night, she heard the knocking. 3 soft taps. Pause. 3 more taps. It came from inside the bedroom wall. Sarah sat up in her sleeping bag, heart hammering. The knocking stopped. She checked her phone. 3:17 a.m. Old building, she told herself. Pipes settling foundations. She lay back down. 3 taps. Pause. 3 taps. The pattern continued until dawn. Over the next week, Sarah tried to ignore it. The knocking came every night at exactly 3:17 a.m. Always the same wall, always the same rhythm. She mentioned it to her neighbor, Mrs. Chen, an elderly woman who'd lived in the building for 30 years. Mrs. Chen's face went pale. "You're in 4B? "Yes, why?" The old woman looked away. "Nothing. Old buildings make noise." But Sarah saw her hands shaking as she hurried back inside her apartment. On the 8th night, Sarah pressed her ear against the wall during the knocking. The drywall was cold, impossibly cold, frost forming where her cheek touched it. And beneath the knocking, she heard something else. Breathing, she called the landlord the next morning. He didn't answer. She called again and again. On the 5th try, he picked up. "There's something in my wall," Sarah said. A long silence. Then, "I'm sorry." "I'm so sorry, I should have told you." "Told me what?" "The previous tenant. She disappeared. 3 months ago, police searched everywhere. They never found her. But sometimes," he paused, "sometimes I still get calls from her phone. Just breathing, always at 3:17 a.m. Sarah's blood went cold. "What was her name?" "Sarah," he whispered. "Her name was Sarah too." The call disconnected. That night, Sarah didn't sleep. She sat in the living room with every light on, waiting. At 3:16 a.m., her phone buzzed. A text from an unknown number. "It's so cold in here. Please let me out." Sarah stared at the message. Then slowly, she looked up at the wall. The knocking began. But this time, it wasn't coming from the bedroom. It was coming from every wall. The ceiling, the floor. 3 taps, pause. 3 taps. And then she heard her own voice, muffled and desperate, coming from inside the walls. "Please. Someone help me, I've been here so long. I can't remember how I got in." Sarah ran for the door. The handle wouldn't turn. She pulled harder, panic rising in her chest. The knocking grew louder, faster, converging from all directions. "Let me out," her own voice echoed from the walls. "Let me out." The lights went out. In the darkness, Sarah felt the walls pressing closer. She screamed, pounding on the door, but the sound was swallowed by the tightening space around her. 3 days later, the landlord came by with a new key for 4B. The lock had mysteriously changed. He found the apartment empty, pristine. Sarah's boxes were gone. Her phone lay on the kitchen counter, dead. He posted the listing again that afternoon. The rent was very reasonable. A week later, a young woman named Sarah came to look at it. "It's perfect," she said, smiling. "I'll take it." The landlord handed her the keys and didn't look back as he left. Behind him, he heard it. 3 soft taps from inside the walls. Pause. 3 more taps. And somewhere in the building, in the spaces between the walls where darkness lives and time doesn't pass, something waited patiently for 3:17 a.m.